4 brilliancies in a single game, all delivered by the Super Grandmaster, brilliant in itself, Fabiano Caruana. Not just Ian Nepomniachtchi, it's not an incredibly strong Grandmaster as well, but, this is the clash of the Titans in the Sinquefield Cup. This is 28th of August. They played just 2 days ago a superb Sicilian Dragon accelerated variation by Fabiano Caruana, and it's totally stuff of legend. So let me show you what happened here, guys. So with e4 and c5, this is the very well-known way to start the very combative and aggressive Sicilian. Knight to f3. G6 now, obviously announcing the fianchetto with the bishop on G7. We know that, but there is no D6 being played now. The idea is to play bishop G7, and perhaps you're going to push D5 in a single strike at some point, and you're going to castle short. So D4, CD, Knight D, nothing like very mysterious. Everyone knows this. Probably they just spent a couple of seconds to be playing the sequence. Bishop G7, Knight to C3, Knight to C6. Develop. We're learning from this strong grandmasters how important it is to develop all of our pieces as fast as we can for full active mobility of our pieces. Knight to f6 now. Now, it is the moment for white to develop the bishop c4, and if I'm correct, I think that's the Yugoslav attack followed by the f3 and the g4, h4 ideas, queen d2 and castle long. So this is the classical setup when you want to play white versus the dragon. This is very well-known weapon and very dangerous indeed and incredibly spectacular. That's why I'm covering this phenomenal game. So castle short, exactly as we discussed, nothing overly mysterious. Bishop b3, moving away from potential knight's harassment and things. d6 and f3 being played here. And as you could see all the ideas on the screen, that's exactly what white intends to play. G pushing up, H pushing up, Queen D2, and also important to mention in the Sicilian, you want to trade the bishop on G7. You want to trade them because that's an incredibly dangerous piece. And how do you do that? By making sure you've got a nice battery in between the queen and the bishop, so you can go h6 and get rid of this guy. Because the bishop goes h8, you're going to take the rook, they're going to lose the material, therefore the game later on. And if they capture, you're going to take back with the queen, being closer to your target, namely the king. So queen to a5 being played by black, you one step closer to connecting your rooks. You can decide later on to play the bishop. Queen to d3, not a bad move. That's absolutely cool and theoretical, but I was expecting queen d2 in order to making the battery. By the way, he will be playing queen d2, so he's sort of like wasting a little bit of a tempo because that prompts black to play knight to e5, attacking the queen, right? So now the queen has to move, and where do you think he moves the queen? Queen d2. So I would say he could have played queen d2 right from the very beginning and go with a bishop to h6, which is the intention here for white. Bishop d7. I know it's not very ambitious, but actually the bishop here needs to be developed. So bishop d7, and you can't go onto those squares because you're going to lose the game. You can't go bishop e6 now because white attacks that square with two pieces, and you're only having one defense. So after knight takes, pawn takes, you're going to lose the pawn, you're going to get checked. Definitely bishop e6. Just want to clarify why bishop e6 doesn't work here, guys. So castle long, because that's exactly what happens in the Yugoslav rouser attack. You've got the opposite side castling in the dragon, and that would be very, very aggressive happening now. Rook after c8. Now, this is the first subtlety. In the Sicilian dragon, you do have to play the rooks over to the c file because this is a semi-open file, and this is exactly where the target is. And there is another subtlety. If white goes with something like bishop to h6, you can drop bishop to h8, refusing to trade, and you don't allow the queen to come in closer to your king. So if there is bishop h6, you don't trade, you go bishop h8, okay? And you preserve your bishop looking towards the white king, all right? So that's one of the subtlety here. Rook after c8, by the way, rook on f8 didn't do nothing. You get it on c8, where actually goes directly and attacks the c file where the white king is, and now sort of prophylactically anticipatory king goes over to b1 away from the rook. Now knight plays attacking directly queen and bishop here, and sort of prompting white to give up on this guy and take him because it's just too much power. And black would be happy to take your queen or the knight if you don't react and move the queen away. So bishop takes, and rook now takes back the stuff. And slowly, step by step, Fabiano Caruana builds up the attack, the very powerful double power, because he just vacated the square on c8 for the other rook. Rook a8 to c8 would be double power of those black rooks, seconded by the bishop and by the queen. And soon you will see how brilliantly the bishop joins the struggle here. So g4, which, by the way, there's nothing wrong. Up to this moment, the game had been very nicely and carefully adjusted to each other. You know, it's absolutely great. And now black plays a move because he affords now the luxury to play bishop to e6 because there is only one attacker, one defender. Not a problem if you want to take here because black is going to take back and there will be one less piece in between the bishop and hitting onto b2 pawn. So if you want to take, feel free to take. But he didn't take. He played the move, which again, it's a theoretical approach, 9b3, attacking the black queen with tempo. Queen to a6 had to move away, and bishop to d4. As we said in the Sicilian Dragon, you try to aim at trading this bishop on g7. You need to make sure that bishop disappears. So you try by whatever means you can. So bishop d4 wants to say, in case the knight goes somewhere, my bishop is going to take your bishop and I get rid of that guy. Because obviously now, if Nepo would have played bishop h6, what do you think Fabio would have done? Well, bishop h8, you're not gonna get rid of my bishop. My sniper stays where they are, right? So bishop to d4 now, and the other rook a8 over to c8. Full active mobilization here, bishop and bishop. You just need to find the formality to playing this guy, and you're gonna see the spectacle starts right now, guys. And queen looking this way, bishop looking this way, both rooks attacking on the c file and the bishop on g7. Amazing stuff doing this kind of Sicilian Dragon for black. Look at this beauty. So now Nepo plays the blunder of the game. This is the beginning of the game for white here. The best move to play is not the g5, which he did do, but that's a blunder, and we'll see this why in a second. The best move is queen to g5. Queen to g5, because if, say, h6 attacking the queen, you're going to play queen a5, queen b5, queen a5, even better, because you try to trade the black queen with the white queen. And so let's say queen g5, h6, queen to a5, queen takes, knight takes, and you're very actively attacking the rook, attack the b7, and it's great. You diminish the very strong, powerful, dangerous queen attacking on the a file. So that'll be the best reply white has, with absolutely very much equal and balanced game for both white and black. But he did a blunder. He played g5, and now Fabi is going to punish him whilst having all the black pieces super active. I guess Nepo thought, and understandably, that knight's gonna move now, you know, maybe h5, maybe something, and whatever the knight goes out of the harm's way, because the pawn takes, bishop's going to take anyway on g7, and you actually eliminate this guy. Okay, he didn't think for a second but that there is a brilliant sacrifice. He didn't see it. He blundered. It happens even to the best. Knight to e4. That's the perfect punishment. And now if you say, wait a minute, but I've got two pieces ready to take the knight. I mean, what's the big deal, right? Well, you're not going to end up well here, because if you take, say, with the knight, right? So you say, okay, I'm going to take back with the knight. What's the problem? Well, there is a problem here, because after you take, there is also rook taken on d4, so taking the material back, so to speak, whilst the rook hits the queen, and a little bit the rook behind. And now if you say, well, I don't care, I'll just take the rook, right? Well, there is a problem, because then queen takes a2 check, king c1 forced, and queen a1 checkmate. So you're actually in deep trouble here. It just doesn't work. And of course, the least worst move, because by the way, guys, there is no good moves here for white to play. White is going to go down very quickly. And f takes e4, right? Well, bishop takes d4 first, bishop takes d4 first here. The important stuff is to understanding that the bishop hits a2 and the queen. And there are other threats. We're going to look at them. And now bishop takes d4 and knight takes. And you see, there is only one defender. Well, two if you want to count in the king, but it don't matter. Because after this move, you play rook c3, which is a theme in the Sicilian Dragon. You will see in many games played by black in which rook is going to sacrifice itself for the c3 in order to make it a mayhem here. Okay, because you can't take with the queen. There is a rook here ready to take it, right? But actually, you don't even have to bother, not even about that one taking with the queen and stuff, because now if you take whatever you want to take with, there is queen a2. You forced c1, and then queen a1 just checkmate. That's it. That's it. End of. So there is simply no good moves, and you can't even take it. So out of desperation here, Nepo played a3, understanding very well that the battery comprising of bishop and queen can't really be stopped here. So this is just done. And queen to c4, another brilliancy. If you can't get through, find a way around it. And now queen to c4, again together with the bishop. How are you going to stop that? Well, you can't stop it, but you can weaken the king's position even more. Nothing really works at this stage. And now if you say, yeah, but can I just take your bishop with knight takes c6? You could try, but it doesn't work because I have triple power now attacking rook c2. I've got two rooks and queen, and c2 is only defended twice. So really nothing works. So after b3, further weakening the king's fortress, but at least he tried. Maybe he wanted to give us the chance to admire a splendid exercise in a brilliancy by Fabi. Queen goes to c5, obviously aiming the a3 even closer to the target. Rook dc, it's not going to do anything, absolutely anything. And there is just simply no move. So whatever you play, it doesn't even make a bit of a difference. The other rook joins the games here. Rook to f he played, and now bishop takes b3, opening up completely the white's king fortress. Just nothing works. If you think so, he resigned here. At this stage, Nepo just resigned. And if you say, yeah, but can't I just take the bishop perhaps? Well, you sort of can, but that's a check. And you say, yeah, but can I just take it? Yeah, well, there is another check. And the problem is when Fabi played c5, he actually very well wants to play the check. And now you would say, yeah, but I've got a queen here, right? Yeah, you do have the queen here, but the rook actually can play to c4, and you really cannot stop you can't stop the, whose turn is now? Oh, king is in check, by the way. And of course, rook c4 can't be stopped with a4. You need to give away the queen. You need to play crazy stuff like this. And nothing really is going to help white. There is no point to continue at this stage. Whatever you try to play really is just not going to work. Black is winning. Not all of a sudden. There is still a little bit of work to be done. But at the highest level, in between two super grandmasters, this is won by black. It's a billion extra pawns. Well, not a billion, but we got two passes here and pawn majority everywhere, all nicely connected. And the white king is subjected to, again, poetically speaking, billion checks coming from all directions. So black is winning. Brilliant game by Fabiano Caruana in the Sicilian Dragon. Guys, please do subscribe to this channel. Share the video. Feel free with your social media friends, families, etc. Join my live streams and let's look together at other beautiful chess games or techniques and stuff like that. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon.